Alright, today we have this 50-ton AAON D-box unit here, and I'd like to talk to you about this device right here, this big orange thing, a Belimo. If you have one of these, what this is for, and it is depicted on the wiring diagram right there. This device takes control of the economizer and the compressors, really. So this is a terminal strip unit. When you send Y1, a Y1 command onto this, you normally get a compressor to start up, but in this case here, the Y1 command will go here. It's the first place it's going to go. And the Belimo itself will decide whether or not we're going to turn on the compressor or we're going to run economizer. So there's not much to this thing. It's a little more complicated than it, or it is a little less complicated than it looks. When you walk up to the unit, it'll probably show you that free cooling. Hit escape, monitor live conditions. I'll just show you that these are menu folders: settings, present devices, alarm, service and commissioning, monitor live conditions. So it's a circular menu. Let's go into settings. I'll just show you the couple of things that need to be changed in here. Zip code. How this thing works is you put in your local zip code and it selects the economizer changeover temperature for you. Okay, in this particular case, we're up here in Washington, Seattle, Washington area, 98032. It selected 75 degrees as my economizer switchover temperature. That can be changed. Okay, let's move on here. Energy module I/O configuration. This thing here is an energy module. These devices snap right on here. They're additional devices. Okay, in this particular case, we put this one on to allow for a damper override. And that's what this is right here, damper override. Okay, and then we got that unplugged right now. But without that, you cannot override the damper. Moving right along. 2-speed fan operation. We don't have a 2-speed fan. We don't have a heat pump here. Devices. It asks you how many devices do you have. Normally it can auto configure. It senses the devices that are attached or plugged into it and says, oh, we have something here, we have something there, and it'll list them here. In this case, we've got CC1. We do not have a CC2. This is compressor contactor, by the way. Compressor contactor 1 and 2. We can manually make changes to that if we wish. Humidity sensors we don't have. No, and we didn't change anything there. They were auto detected, or not detected in this case. Vent position, that's the other setting you'll need to change. So your zip code and your vent minimum position, whatever you'd like to put in there. I'll just scroll through the rest of these items. Demand control ventilation, like CO2 sensing and alarming, that sort of thing. We don't have that here. If you did have it, it would auto detect, because it would be landed right here and it would say detected. Temperature, Celsius or Fahrenheit. Purge enable, we're not doing purge. Remote damper control is on. That's a selectable item. We can change that off or on, right? On, and like I mentioned before, that's what we're doing here. So to enable that, you got to go in here. High limit modification. Look at that. The little I there means that you can hit this I button to get information on what this thing does. This is where the local high limit can be set lower. Doing this is not recommended due to loss of energy savings. So in other words, by putting in our zip code, it auto-selected 75 degrees. We can manually change that. Okay, there it is. I already manually changed it to 70 degrees. So we'll hit escape, and we're back in the settings menu. So that was the very last item. So that's it. Nothing more to it. Just remember that this device its purpose is to monitor feedback from the economizer. So if we're telling it to be at 89%, the feedback wire is going to be landed here. I believe it's number 5 that comes back from the actuator and says, yep, I'm at 89%. If it's at some other position, we're going to go into alarm. The alarm we're in right now, just while we're here, let's look at this alarm. So we'll go to the alarms menu. Okay, current alarm. Okay, supply air temperature drop for CC1 insufficient. So if you look down here, I've got compressor number 1 disconnected. So it's trying to do cooling, it's not happening, it'll go into that alarm. That is just a nuisance alarm that'll go away on its own once you've satisfied supply air temperature.